So this is my final project for Cs194. In the project, I'm gonna simulate motion with image warps. So yeah. So in project 5, we used affine transformations to warp between faces. So I thought I would try to use the same warping techniques between frames of a video to try to capture the motion, and then try to apply the motion transformations to a different image and see if I could basically transfer the motion, not transfer, like copy the motion from a video to an image. Okay, so I ran into a lot of challenges doing this project. So first thing is between video frames, because obviously things are 3D, things can move in front of or behind other objects. So sometimes you would have like a leg in front of something and then be behind something later, and you can't warp from like a hidden object to a visible object. So what I did to solve this was just warp everything from the initial frame, which I am ensured would have everything that would be visible later visible there. And then another thing is defining the control points between the frames is really tedious. I mean, I'm sure everyone thought it was pretty tedious for Project 7. So with video frames, there's usually they're 30 frames per second, so I took every third frame, and that's still 10 frames per second of video, and then you have to define a lot of control points there, so that was pretty annoying. Okay, so another thing that happened was I tried to do the Delaunay triangulation like we did before, but that doesn't really work for motion because the relative positions of the points change, so it's kind of hard to see in the picture, but this is a Delaunay triangulation of the average points, and you can see that they're intersecting triangles there, so that doesn't work. And then if you do the triangulation on like the points from one image, then the other one doesn't work. So yeah. So in order to solve that, I had to basically write my own triangulation. For the snake, I just did like a basic zigzag down the snake, but for like the person and the penguin, I had to divide it into segments and then do Delaunay triangulation for each segment and then put all of those together. So here's an example of my triangulation on these 2 frames of the penguin video. Okay, and then another thing was matching the structure of the like the image I want to animate and the base frame. It's kind of hard. Like it's really hard to find 2 things that are exactly the same structure, but because warping is coordinate based, it doesn't work very well unless you have exactly the same points. So I ended up warping like the image to the base frame, which I mean looks pretty okay for like objects, like when I warp the chain to the shape of the snake, but with the person and the penguin, it looks kind of weird. But I mean, it's not too bad. Okay, and so here are the results that I got. This is the animation of the snake. I think the GIF that I made is a little bit too fast, but yeah, so it has the motion of the snake captured, even though it doesn't look like it's moving because there's not a background. And here's the animation of the penguin man.